Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. This time, film I've been wanting to rewatch for a little while since we're in this superhero craze. Hancock. Now, this is a film that did decently well when it came out. Was a hit. There were talks of a sequel for a while. Sadly, it never came to be. I know Will Smith, Peter Berg, and Charlize Theron, they wanted to do a sequel. I guess the script just never came about. This is the two-disc unrated special edition. Has this weird. This is a weird, stupid thing. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is this shit? Like, why is this a thing? Why does this boy look like he pooped his pants? Oh my god, I shit my pants. Is that why there's this explosion? His shit was, so powerful it made it explode behind him. I don't understand the. I don't understand. I don't. I don't get it. But whatever. But it does have some features from back in the day. It has two cuts of the film, which I can't tell you all the differences between it, but directed by Peter Berg, which as a director, he's off and on with me because I like The Kingdom with Jamie Foxx, but I did not like Battleship. And, again, as an actor, I love him in Shocker. Shocker, personal favorite of mine, my favorite Wes Craven film. I reviewed Shocker on the channel, for those interested. I love Shocker. But he directed this movie. Now, for what I understand, I could be wrong. For what I understand, this movie, when the original script, which is under a different title, I want to say it was Tonight He Comes, it was going to be a much more darker movie where it was about a superhero trying to be a realistic take on a superhero who was suicidal and he was drunk, and about how a superhero would live in the actual real world. Uh, I don't know all of the details of that. And at one point, Michael Mann was going to direct the film, which that would have been in, interesting. The guy who did Heat, directed a superhero movie. But I guess he looked around. It's like, well, all the green screen, all the effects, that's not his wheelhouse. So it was given to Peter Berg. And of course, Will Smith heard about it because he had to work with Michael Mann on Ali. I guess throughout the film, they wanted to lighten the film up and not be so dark. Which I guess in retrospect, people complain about that. But I like the film we have. I do enjoy this film quite a bit. It's one of Will Smith's more underrated films, even though it was a hit. No one ever talks about this film anymore. It's pretty forgotten. But what I like about the flick is, once again, I am a Will Smith fan. I love I, Robot. I like I Am Legend, which, I don't know, maybe I'll review that next. I love Bad Boys 1 and 2, Independence Day, Men in Black. See, the second one and the third one, I don't mind. Enemy of the State's underrated. I, Robot, Bright. Again, I'm a fan of the guy. And this one, I even though he was an asshole, I still liked him. I felt sorry for him. I felt sympathy for him and the character. Uh, and in a way, kind of a predecessor to what you would have nowadays. Because nowadays you kind of have this, what if a hero was in the real world, and you try to see a little bit of that in the Deadpool movies, teeny bit of that, the mixture of, well, like a lot of Marvel movies too, of comedy, humor, action, superhero. I mean, yeah, I understand this came out in 2008, the same year as, I believe, The Dark Knight and Iron Man. And of those movies, this is the one that's forgotten, which is too bad. But he was Hancock is a character that is lonely. You can tell he's lonely, but he acts out. He gets drunk. People call him an asshole. There's a car chase between cops and thieves happening, and the kid's like, Hancock, there's bad guys. What do you want me to do? Give you a cookie? And just people keep calling him asshole. He tries to do the right thing, but he fucks up. Like the first thing, he's drunk, and you have the song, "Move, get out the way, get out the way." He's accidentally smashing through buildings. Yeah, accidentally fucks up these cop cars. I thought the action scenes were handled well by Peter Berg. I thought he did a fairly decent job with the action scenes. Granted, some of the CGI does not hold up since 2008, but still a thoroughly had fun with the action sequences. You can tell that a budget was behind this film. It was not a cheap film. And I like Will Smith's attitude in the movie as Hancock. I like he says to the guys, listen, stop the car, just turn on the music, give me a headache. If you don't, I'm going to put your head up his ass. I'm going to put his head up his ass, and you get the short end of the stick because your head is going up my ass. And they don't listen, so he's like, fuck it. Puts his feet through the car, bottom of the car, breaking up the road, lifts the car up, accidentally drops it, and just smashes on like the Washington Monument or something? Something like that, like on a monument, just impales it. And pretty much people like, okay, he did the right thing, but look at all the damage he got, and this guy's a jerk, and what the hell is his problem? Now, I do know this scene was added for the unrated cut, where I thought it was a decent scene, where he's in a bar and he's just picked up by this lady, and they go back, and Will Smith does warn her when the time comes, move out of the way, when he... Because if you see Mallrats, remember the scene with Jason Lee talking about Superman, if he had sex with Lois Lane? Only Wonder Woman would have the strongest uterus. If he fucked Lois Lane, it'd be like a shotgun through her back. They kind of play that out. But done tastefully enough. It's not like you see him come, and it's not like, a raunchy comedy. But it was done tastefully enough, but you get the idea. I thought it was kind of like one of those reactions. But also kind of sad where, he's a bit embarrassed by it. He's trying to talk to the lady. She's a bit freaked out. I'm like, what did you expect, lady? He's like Superman. What the fuck did you expect? And he warned you, you dumb bitch. He tries to talk to her. She runs off, and you can tell by his face this is not the first time this has happened. And then you have Jason Bateman in this movie. He's a guy who does PR and is saved by Will Smith's character. And he's like one of the only guys that treats Will Smith's character like a person, like a decent human being. And I like that, where the hero is not, he's messing things up and he's reckless, but he's not a bad guy. I don't know, just sort of that. Believe it or not, Roger Ebert gave this a really good review. I've been waiting for this for years. A superhero movie where the actions of the superheroes have consequences in the real world. Hancock is a lot of fun. That's Roger Ebert. I give credit to that. I agree. You do see the consequences, and some of them are funny, like when Jason Bateman is showing some footage of stuff on YouTube where Hancock is trying to save a whale, and he accidentally throws it too far, and it fucks up his boat. And you do get some fun, un-PC humor in this, which, sad to say, you can't do this anymore. Because Jason Bateman Jason Bateman shows him these comics. What do you think when you see this? And he goes, homo. And then he shows another comic, and Will Smith goes, homo in red. And it's just like, you're never going to have that kind of humor anymore. And it's like, people, fucking get your uptight prick out of your ass. It's not like I'm going to be offended by a movie. If a movie talked about a white guy and called him honky or something, it's not like I'm going to be fucking offended by it. God damn. If you're good. And if you're funny, that is. If you're not funny and you're lazy and you're hammering some stupid, ridiculous point across, then you'll get me mad. But if you actually being entertaining or funny or whatever, then that's fine. And so Jason Bateman has this idea, well, they want to arrest you for property damage. Turn yourself in. And Will Smith's like, what? But, he sees that this guy's been like the only guy in a while that's believed in him, so he serves time in prison. And you get this fun scene where these criminals are stupid. The fucking dumbest criminals. You know what this guy can do. So they try to be tough on him. And Will Smith warns them. He says, you don't leave me alone. Your head is going up his ass. And like, again, you would think these people knew what Hancock would do. They'd be like a thug going up to Superman. It's like, come on, pal, fuck you, But, they keep fucking with him, and ultimately he actually does put someone's head up another guy's ass. And I forgot this. The Sanford and Son music starts playing. That made me laugh out loud. I forgot the Sanford and Son music. That cracked me the fuck up, the Sanford and Son music. I forgot about that. Also, I like this thing that, in a way, they kind of took from, well, maybe not on purpose, but you saw the same thing in Back to the Future 2 and 3. Remember in Back to the Future 2 and 3 when Marty had a thing about being called chicken? Nobody calls me chicken. They do that with this, only it's asshole. Because there's quite a few times where Will Smith's like, call me an asshole one more time. Now, granted, I saw that before in Back to the Future 2 and 3, but I like that. I like that little piece for Will Smith's character. I will say the first half of the film is more interesting than the second half. That's really my one flaw with the film. Okay, what happens is Jason Bateman has a wife, played by Charlize Theron, who would be in Mad Max Fury Road, Atomic Blonde, quite a few other movies. And she is with Jason Bateman's character. Well, you come to find out that she has superpowers too, and in fact that she was the former wife of Will Smith. Will Smith doesn't remember because he got amnesia back in the day. And how when the two of them are together, things don't, they loved each other in the past, but she's like, you can't be near me because our powers dwindle. This fight breaks out, which that's where the CGI was the worst in that fight. Just like these tornadoes come up and like a bunch of clutter happens. That's pretty much like all this stuff on the covers from is that fight. I think back in the day I disliked it more than I do now. Now I was like, okay. I think back then, like, I don't know if they needed to go on that direction. Because I was really enjoying the whole Hancock trying to be better, trying to better himself. He gets this new outfit. He stops a bank robbery, which I thought was an entertaining action sequence where bullets are blazing around and Will Smith's just walking, deflecting missiles, going, hey, how's it going? And then he fucks up the bad guys, including And little details, like he takes this metal thing, and because he's so strong, he fucks up the edge so it makes it sharp, and then he throws it, cuts the guy's hand off. And again, I think because I was enjoying that so much, like the recklessness of this Will Smith's character doing the right things, but how it ends so poorly, the comedy mixed with the action, the friendship he was growing with Jason Bateman's character. There's a part of me that wishes that Charlize Theron's story wasn't in there and maybe save for a sequel or something. But watching again, it didn't bother me as much as maybe it does others because it does give Charlize Theron I like as an actress. I think she's a very talented actress. And it does have some funny moments where Will Smith's testing her out and he's like doing stuff like when Jason Bateman's not looking, takes a rolling pin, just smacks it against Charlize Theron's back of her head. She's like, and it does give some nice heart to the movie as well because you find out the backstory between the two of them. You find out what happened in the past to Will Smith's character, how he got amnesia, that they still do care for each other, but it seems like they can't be together, and how that plays off at the end. Well, Will Smith has to leave her to save her life. Gives a little bit of tragic tale, but not too much, so it's not too like downbeat or anything. But it does make you feel for Will Smith's character even more so, and even to a sense Charlize Theron's character, because like when they're together, you still see that they care for each other, but again they become mortals, and Charlize Theron, because these bad guys go into this hospital, which is one of the better action scenes, because Will Smith's like throwing stuff and it's going right through wall after wall at the hospital, fucking up the bad guys, throwing them out the window. I enjoyed that action scene. Peter Berg has a quick cameo as one of the doctors that they're trying to save. Because again, these two become mortal when the more time they spend together. Which is an interesting idea that when they're together they're mortal, but if they're separate they're immortal. You know, I like that. That was a cool idea. I swear I've seen that before in other stuff, but I can't think of it at the top of my head. And so Will Smith leaves her, so that saves both of them, especially Charlie's character. But things still work out at the end. Charlize and Jason Bateman are happy together. Will Smith, he's a hero once again in New York. One of the last scene, well, the last scene is after a little bit of the credits is Mike Epps. I forgot Mike Epps was in this film. Mike Epps, I remember from Next Friday and All About the Benjamins. At this point, Will Smith's character is now in New York, my friend Effrey's neighborhood. And Mike Epps calls him an asshole, and Will Smith gives him a look, and then he's like, okay. I would like to have seen a sequel. I would like to have seen where they would have taken the story, because I like the character. I like Peter Berg's direction. I like the sense of humor. There's quite a few moments that made me laugh or chuckle. I thought the actresses were handled fairly well. Again, the CGI doesn't hold up the best. Well, but it's, wow, over a decade old. Damn, it is over a decade old, because this was 2008. But it has a nice heart to it. Really felt sorry for Will Smith's character. I like Will Smith as an actor. I'm a big fan of his. Charlize Theron. I think that's another thing. Like Charlize Theron. Since then, I've seen more and more movies with her. I mean, you had even before that, Mighty Joe Young. And after the, I think she's one of the better actresses in today's age. Right, I don't always love her films, but even the films I don't like, she's usually not the problem. I really liked the friendship between these two guys. I thought that worked out fairly well. And it's sad that we never got a sequel. Nowadays it's too late. It'll never happen. But I would like to have seen it. I would like to have seen, again, where they would have taken these characters, where they would have taken the story. I didn't think it was the typical superhero movie. It felt a little bit more unique. It felt a little bit more different. Which, that'd be the nice thing nowadays, is to be a little bit unique and different and do it well, too. You can't just be unique and different and suck ass, too. And I know a lot of people rag on this movie. I don't really understand why. I don't think this film is bad enough to be ragged on so harshly as it has been. But anyway, that's Hancock. My thoughts on it. Yeah, I think it's a bit of an underrated flick. Just my opinion. By the way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.